5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hello and welcome everyone to Truth of Beer and Consequences.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Julia. Yay, indeed. This is a podcast where my co-host and I listen to and watch all the Cincinnati-based craft beer media from the previous week. We get together at a podcast host, and today we are back at Higher Gravity Summit Park. Thank you, Higher Gravity, for being a gracious podcast host. Now, hopefully there aren't too many consequences from the hosts of the other craft beer podcasts and media. And I just want to say to all of you out there, you must not be listening because we are lighting you up on a weekly basis.
And so far, so good.
Yeah. So, my name is Marco. I am a taproom manager here locally. I did brew beer locally for quite a few years. I was asked if I could start brewing beer again.
Really?
Just yesterday.
Oh, nice. What'd you say?
And I said, I'm busy. I am busy. And not that I'm busy forever, just for now.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
The future may change things.
Yeah,
all right,
could. It very well could.
All right.
Very, very well could. That being said, that other voice you heard, yes, that's Julia, but her proper name, her proper introduction is about to happen here because she is the best co-host in Podcast Landia.
As Marcus said, I'm Julia. I love to drink all the craft beer in the Cincinnati area. And all I'm going to say is pre-order your beer event box. We have roughly a month before they will be available for pickup. A little more than a month, but very close to it. They will sell out.
By the time you get around to hearing this and taking action on it, about a month.
Right, exactly. They have a limited number of these boxes. They are not unlimited. They don't just keep selling them until the day they're ready or after. So buy one. Higher Gravity Craft House, HAUS.com. It is 150,000% worth it.
It is.
So do it. Do it.
And if you don't, you're going to get a serious case of FOMO.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
That coming from a guy who usually doesn't get it. And then I have a lot of FOMO. Every year, I seriously consider biting the bullet and whatever I can't drink, just setting it aside and giving away to people. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if I like people that much.
Yeah, that's
Not
fair.
Sure.
That's fair.
So... all the thoughts and opinions on this podcast are ours and ours alone. They do not reflect any entity which we may be affiliated with, such as full-time jobs, part-time jobs, Higher Gravity. If you want to get at us, get at us. We will tell you how at the end of the podcast. Go and read the show notes. You can figure out how to get at us. And so also go and follow our other podcasts, Cincy Beer Events. Click and subscribe to the newsletter so that you can have a list of all the Cincy Beer events happening that are exciting in the greater Cincinnati area. Let's see. The introduction, me,
we did the
disclaimer. Oh, so we would not be a good craft beer podcast, and thank you everyone for making us the number one craft beer podcast that talks about Cincinnati-based craft beer podcasts, if we weren't having something to drink. Julia, what you drinking?
I am continuing my streak of one of the best Baltic porters in the area. I think it's the only one out there on tap right now.
I don't know. It's the only one on tap here, so that's our truth.
Well,
Phantasm.
I'm trying to think if any other local breweries, have a Baltic porter available, and I can't think of one. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Esoteric's Phantasm. This beer is absolutely phenomenal, and I will continue to buy it as long as it is on draft. I will be the one to kick the keg on.
We'll hold you to that.
All right, yeah.
You've done that before with other beers.
I have. It's true. Yeah, it is all me. So some of these taps have like my name on it, like only sell to Julia, and this is going to be one of them. How about you? How about you, Marco? What?
I have Best Day Pilsner.
Nice.
Still doing my NA kick here.
Sure.
So there's a lot of NA options and zero alc options out there. I just decided to take a little while and have my go at them.
I think it's also helpful to kind of know, like for the place that you may or may not work at, there are a lot of NA options for breweries to have available to people because I don't think any local brewery is making an NA. Like Matry worked on their one, but I don't think there are no local offerings right now.
No.
So it's good to actually know what your consumers, the people that come into your taproom spaces, if you're going to be offering something that's NA, you should probably have a good idea of how to tell, does that taste good? Does it actually taste like
I've had
beer?
every one of them, and I'm adding some more.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, we
That
have
is awesome.
the place I work at has a really phenomenal selection of NAs.
You showed me a picture,
And we're
it's
adding.
like I feel like you almost have just as many NA options as you do regular
Close.
beers on your tap list.
Close.
That's awesome.
It's close.
That
It's
is
going well, though.
Good.
Speaking of going well,
the podcast is gonna take a quick decline. It's not gonna go here in a few minutes.
yeah.
Yeah. So, no, welcome. Here we go. Yes, it's on.
Check.
And that disclaimer was for us. The Gnarly Gnome can speak for whoever
you guys
he wants
recording?
to.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just finishing up the intro. Perfect timing.
All of my thoughts and opinions are representative of the Brew Skies Happy Hour this week.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. What you drinking?
Oberon Eclipse.
Oh,
I've never tried it.
I have not had that either. What style is that? It looks
like
kind
a-
of
it's a
wheat.
It's a
Just
wheat,
another
but
wheat.
it's
Okay.
it's like a darker
It's a
wheat.
right.
It's
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure. It's
a little
a
wheatier. Hang on, let me
It's a
see.
wheatier wheat.
A darker wheat. A Dunkel Wheatson.
Dunkel wheat.
It doesn't even. It's not like
No, it's
Dunkel,
No.
which is what I was expecting.
It's not. No, it's just hazy. I remember the first time we did a grapefruit Hefeweizen, and we had him over, and he had tasters in front of him. And he's like, it's clear. I'm like, yeah, you're welcome.
Yes.
Good beer.
Yeah.
Clear.
Excellent.
Yeah?
All right. What do you say we talk about some Cincinnati craft beer media?
Okay.
Yeah, we should talk about donut media.
Ooh, okay. Tell us about donut media. Give
I
me
I see
something.
some of that today.
You're the one with the notebook. You're supposed to have
Mine's about beer, not donuts.
only beer.
The
I
only
thought you
beer,
just took
yeah.
notes on all the
everything.
podcasts and then just flipped to the beer ones. That makes more sense.
Yeah. No.
It all. I never understood how you had enough time to do it all. I get it now.
I sometimes I feel like I don't.
Just beer.
But
Got it.
just beer. I have to limit
I
myself.
can't just name topics and go flip to the chapter with all of those.
That would be amazing if I could do that. But,
This week,
unfortunately,
only camel podcasts where we talk about everybody and their pet camels. Do people have pet camels? Is that a thing?
I'm sure that somewhere in
I think I went
probably
with it.
Arizona. They
Yeah.
have deserts out there, right?
They
So
spit
sure,
right
I mean,
though, right? Like,
Desert.
maybe it's
Yeah.
not a good idea.
Yeah.
Petting camel.
My kids spit though too, and so that's
Yeah.
Maybe.
Are your kids camels?
not that I know of.
Okay. Do they have humps like on their backs?
Not yet.
Not yet.
They do spend a lot of time hunched over
to
with their
their-
iPad, so
they're
maybe they'll
going
get
to.
one.
Yeah.
Do you actually get a hump from that? Is that a real thing,
Yeah,
or
you
is
get
that
like
something?
on like kind of the back of your neck.
Okay.
It's apparently it's a buildup. Like as you're looking down, your body
Told
starts
you she'd listen
storing
to the
more.
podcast. She's been listening to Camel
Do you know,
podcasts. I
do you know
told you.
the guy with the humpback
Chapter 3.
from the movie 300 was one of the guys who was at the Comic Con in Sharonville this past weekend?
I did not, but
I
I
don't
do,
even know who you're talking about. But
I did
yes,
not know that, but I
sounds cool.
do know that Aaron Reynolds, who does the Effin' Birds comic, was at Cincinnati Comic Con, and
yeah.
I wish I could have gone to check that out, but it just didn't work out this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite comic book character is Superman.
All right, Cincinnati Craft Beer Media from the previous week. We have an episode of the Craft Parenting Podcast where Caroline ran solo.
Caroline.
So good.
That was great. We have an episode of Barstool Perspectives.
Yep.
Perspective, is it a singular perspective
Well,
or is
they
it?
both have perspectives.
Yeah, so it is. So there should be an S on.
No,
on
but
this.
together
But
they
it's-
combine to make one
to make a
perspective.
perspective.
To make
okay.
to make a singular
It's
perspective.
like arguing with yourself. You still only have one opinion. You're just arguing with
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Gotcha.
Depends on.
Well, on what the voices in your head say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still has to settle into something. at some
Brett and
point.
Mike, come show up here to Higher Gravity Summit Park some Tuesday and let us know. Do you have perspectives,
We call
or
them-
just a perspective?
Break.
Right?
One perspective.
I thought it was Met.
No, definitely not meant. Too close to my love of tubular meat.
meats. This is true. This is true. The Miami Valley Craft Beer Podcast at
Yeah.
the Sam Adams Taproom.
I'm
Yeah.
halfway through it, but
Awesome. Okay, so you have like enough to
Well,
be
you
able to
got the gist
contribute.
of it.
Yeah. Cincy Brewcast with Garrett at Streetside.
I did not listen to that one, but
Okay. Maybe you'll remember the conversation.
Maybe.
Yes, because you don't really re-listen to your stuff once you record it.
No.
Barely. Yeah.
who wants to listen to that guy?
And then, I only do it because I'm obligated.
Yeah, you have to.
I have an
Contract.
obligation to do it.
We decided it was a good idea.
And then the Weekly Pint.
Yeah.
I also didn't listen to that one. But
No, but once again, it's yeah.
I was there.
I only listened to it once, watched it once. Sometimes I do it a second time to make sure I have counts and stuff like that. But I took my notes live.
Tried to keep it easy this time for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's been a very long week, 2 weeks. So I appreciate
with it.
getting to bed a little bit earlier last night than normal. All right, where do you guys want to start?
Abu Dhabi. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still on the
still
camel,
the camel thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's a frozen frenzy. Every hockey team's
What?
playing tonight.
In Abu Dhabi?
I don't think they're in Abu Dhabi.
That doesn't even make sense.
No.
I guess they could. There's probably like a dome.
All right, let's go ahead and just start oldest to newest, or at least the
Okay.
order that's in my notebook, depending on how that
Same
goes.
order my notebook has them.
Perfect. It works out. So, Gnome, how about your notebook?
It's in
what
the
order?
car.
Oh, okay.
Mine are alphabetical is the way to organize
Oh,
it.
I
that's
gotcha.
okay. That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. This is
digital.
This is almost alphabetical, just not quite.
Just like the Google Doc that the Crap Parenting Pod uses.
Yes.
Mine is very similar, actually,
Yeah.
but it's
I feel like it almost has to be.
much more interlinked.
Gotcha.
Interlinked.
Let's start with the Craft Parenting Podcast, episode 204, visiting Hearth Brewing in Harrison, Ohio.
There are a lot of people there,
There were a lot of people there.
but
Been there.
Caroline was
I
by
wasn't there
herself.
that night.
Caroline was just by herself, though.
Yes. I have not been down there yet. She did a
Did some
great
other
job
places.
flying solo. I mean, it's
She was
not-
flying.
She, was
She did not
flying
mention
solo.
that.
No, she was actually hovering just above the seat of the chair.
I hear they do that
Yeah,
at Hearth.
yeah.
Fly like an eagle.
Into the future.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I thought she did a fantastic job. It is not easy to try to have a conversation, not really a conversation with yourself, but to have an extended period of talking time where you're trying to cover a bunch of different
It
topics
definitely
and gears
seemed
and all
like
that.
she talked to
Yeah,
herself
it's a
a lot.
monologue.
Like she had a
Like
lot.
Shakespeare.
It felt like she had a lot of practice.
She could have. Yeah. I mean, I guess when the kids fall asleep and she still feels like she has to talk to them, but they're not awake. So she's really just talking to herself.
The things that I stand over my children while they're sleeping and tell them. Can't put that on a podcast. About time you fall asleep, you little.
Swear to God. She talked
Gonna
about
break all your toys.
She talked about all the beers in the beer flight that she got. She did not have a pumpkin beer, even though it is pumpkin season, because
Evidently, I drank it all.
exactly.
Yeah.
And she called you out directly on that and said, I was going to have one, but the Gnome was down here
It was my
and
favorite
blew
beer.
the keg. Yeah. Apparently they have more in the tanks, so get back down there sometime soon, and you could have your very own pumpkin beer in a glass to enjoy at your own leisure.
It's got to be one of their year-round beers now. I think
It has to
because
be,
it's been
yeah.
so popular.
Yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
bold move. Year-round pumpkin.
I mean, why not? You can put it into any style, so you could probably make it work.
The trick is, so much like Northern Road, they went year-round Oktoberfest.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
just changed the style.
Exactly.
They call it a German amber lager.
Exactly.
Hearth is going to do the same thing.
Sure.
This
Field
is,
beer.
This is not
Call it
The
Field
field beer. Yes,
No, because
why not?
that doesn't specify anything. No, it's a orange
gourd.
gourd. Orange gourd ale is what they're going to call it.
Gourd
Okay.
ale.
Orange gourd ale.
Orange gourd ale.
That's what they're going to call it. And
like
people will be able to get it year-round.
I like it. She taled about the QR codes
Sneak it
on
in
the
there.
table and how you can use it to order your food once you have a tab going on at the
She
bar. You can do
demonstrated
all
it.
that. She demonstrated it.
But it broke.
And she also had a call to the public. Leave the QR codes on the table. They're not taped down like some places do.
Yeah.
They're just in the I don't know what they're
It's
called.
the wrong way to do it. So when I
The
go
plastic tabletop holders.
in, I take the QR code and I put it on my back.
Oh.
That way people can buy me beers as I'm walking around.
Walking around.
They scan me and then I get a
Like the
notification. Your beer is
like
ready.
the
And I go
adult
get it.
dancers do nowadays. They
I
have
thought
the
that you were-
QR code
Oh,
on
my.
the
Tramp
on the
stamp?
yep
Yeah.
QR code.
please don't take the QR codes and like shuffle them around to all the different tables. So when you scan a QR code at your table, your food and beer goes to a different table. Unless you're the gnome, and then make sure that everything you scan go to whatever table that he is sitting at.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's paying it forward.
Absolutely, by you paying for all of his beer.
Well, that's the weird. That's
It's only the way. It's only the right way.
That's the
to
part
do
I
it.
haven't figured out yet. People can scan my QR code and order me a beer, but then it still goes on my tab, and I can't figure out how to make them pay for that. It's not working right, but
Sounds like we need to have a field trip where we just like test multiple different scenarios of QR codedness.
Sure.
And see how you can get the most beers and pay the least amount of money.
that's my goal.
All right. The Ludwigs may be ditching their Christmas Little Kings for Brewing Ale. Gnome, your thoughts? I know you're a huge
Fine with
Little
it.
Kings
I'm fine with it,
are you?
but emotionally, I'm not. Like
So
Little
you're
Kings
not
is still
okay with
king.
it. Yeah,
it's the
okay,
king.
okay.
It's fine
Well,
if you want to
and-
put a cream ale in your tap room.
Sure.
It's not going to replace Little Kings.
My concern with that comment of this may replace that part of their tradition is, as far as I know, Hearth Brewing isn't going to be packaging. They might have growlers or some sort of like
growlers,
whatever,
I think
growlers,
right now.
whatever.
I believe growlers.
But that's not going to be.
Oh,
that's not going to be the same.
2016.
It's not going to be the same way of drinking that beverage as a Little Kings in the 7-ounce bottles. You know what I mean? Like
It's going to make the entire Ludwig family look
different.
very tiny with these big growlers in their hands and their Christmas
It's
pictures.
true. And I mean, in Joe's hands already look like
Right.
Yeah.
his tiny hands holding the Little King's bottle. His hands already that makes his hands look big.
Look
Yeah.
huge.
I mean, with a growler,
Yeah.
The biggest.
they're gonna look tiny, huge. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Can you find a green jug growler to fill with your
Ooh.
cream ale?
I'm sure you can. I mean, Westside had clear growlers for a while
I've
during
seen-
COVID.
I've seen lots of-
COVID.
I've seen lots of clear ones.
We have,
lots
yeah,
of brown
we have
ones.
one of those.
Coated.
I don't
Coated,
think
yeah.
I don't think I've seen a blue one before,
Really?
Shot. We all got
but
coated
I've
with
never
shots.
seen a green one.
What is out of all the growlers that either currently are or have been available from Cincinnati breweries, do you have a favorite, either design, color, whatever? Because there are some locally that are not your standard jug.
I like the drink tanks growlers. I think they're the best growlers that were ever made. They have they're stainless steel, double-walled stainless steel to protect your beer. The cap on top, there's little swing things that pop off, and the cap comes off as a separate piece, so it's easier to clean and it doesn't get in your way when you're pouring beer and stuff. Plus, they sell this little kit with like a little CO2 cartridge,
charger.
and so you can.
Well, but that's not.
That's my favorite growler.
But that's not from a local brewery.
Yeah, it was. I got it at
Oh,
Braxton.
was it? Oh,
Yep.
nice. Okay, sorry, I was not aware of that.
Yep,
My
yep.
apologies. Nice. I have a tie between
Like a whippet.
Yeah.
a little.
Yep.
Little whippet for your beer.
I have a tie between
Not
Humble
like a
Monks.
whippet. I think it is a
No.
whippet.
I have a tie between Humble Monk's ceramic growler that they had for a while.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I wish I would have gotten one because absolutely beautiful. And then Narrow Pass.
Yeah, Narrow Pass,
Just the
tiny,
shape of it. Oh my
30
God.
the
no,
32-ounce
it's
howlers?
it's a 64 ounce. No, the. I don't know how to what the shape is, but it's wider at the bottom. It's like a genie's bottle or something. It's like wider at the bottom and then has like a longer neck. But I believe it's a full 64
You rub
ounce
it and
growler.
Shaq comes out.
Not for me.
Not
And I'm
Sin-
okay with that. I'm
Not
okay with
Sinbad,
that.
because that never
Right,
actually
that never
happened.
actually happened. Yes, yes.
There was with Alexandria's Kickstarter, they had these cool like grenade growlers they
Oh,
had
neat.
on there. I have one of those.
Oh, that's cool.
It's never had beer in it, but it's sitting on my shelf.
Yeah, it doesn't have to have had beer in it. Just
It
a
probably
general,
should at some
probably
point.
should. Yeah, take it down there and be like, okay, I need you to fill this.
Here's a better question.
Okay.
When was the last time either one of you filled a growler?
I filled a howler 2 weeks ago.
Like an actual like glass howler?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Does filling
Did the bartender know what it was?
I was the bartender, and I
Okay,
filled
well that's cheating.
does filling a growler at home with water to put into the coffee machine count? No. Okay.
No. I use
problem.
growlers around the house a lot
All the time,
for
yeah,
water,
yeah.
but not. I don't ever take them to a brewery and get beer anymore.
Yeah.
Crowlers, I get a lot of crowlers, but not
The
a lot of
plastic
growler
one,
fills.
the plastic bag ones that Westside
I
had
hate
for
those.
a bit
Hate 'em.
are interesting. Really, even with
they're
the
my
spout?
least
Okay,
favorite thing in the world.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
That is not a proper way to serve, store, or carry beer.
Okay.
Just my opinion.
Hey, that's fine. That is fine. Let's see. Caroline also talked about the food and beer that they got the first time that they went down to Hearth Brewing and how some of the things are no longer on the menu. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe they won't. Who knows?
It's like the pumpkin beer, man.
It's just like the pumpkin beer.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not all of the taps are hooked up currently because it's hard to keep all the taps active when people keep drinking all of the beers, a la the pumpkin beer, as we talked about. So when you go down there, don't expect that they'll have...
They've been busy.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic.
Unless you want a pumpkin beer.
This is true. I think that Joe and Caroline need to stop showing up there because I think they are the biggest reason that Hearth Brewing is running out of beer so quickly.
How far away is it from the fretboard space?
Like 5 minutes?
5 minutes at the most.
Let's see. You can get a text when your flight is ready, which I feel like... I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like,
I like
to me,
it.
I like it, but at the same time, I don't feel that a flight takes so long that I feel the need to walk away from the bar.
Well, that's the QR code is the whole
Right.
thing with it. Like if I'm sitting at a table with my family.
Oh, so is
I
that
don't-
just when they're doing the beer via the
Yeah,
QR?
yeah.
Oh,
So, like,
I heard that. I
then-
took that as like she's at the bar, orders the flight, and then like walks away.
I assume you probably could do that too.
Okay.
But like that way, if you're with your family and you don't want to like walk up to the bar, order your flight, stand there for 10 minutes while they're pouring your flight. I do because I want to get away from my family because they're loud and kind of annoying. But
Yes.
if you don't, then you can go up to the bar and get it when it's ready instead of having to stand there the whole time.
That makes sense. Okay, like the way that I heard Caroline's words and interpreted that is different than that. So just, all right, cool. That's
Send her
awesome.
an email. Tell her she was wrong.
You know what? I think I'll just tell her here on the pod. Caroline, you're wrong.
I thought you were right, Caroline. I understood. Don't listen to Julia.
Oh my goodness. Last two notes that I had on this is I found the Harrison School that is the Warriors.
Where'd you find it?
In Harrison,
Oh.
surprisingly enough.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I turned over a couple rocks and it was right there. One of their beers is named the Warrior or Warrior something, and she's like, well, but that's not William Henry Harrison High School. That's not St. John the Baptist School. I don't know where this is coming from. Harrison Christian School, their mascot is the Warrior. So that is where that comes from. And then she ended the episode with talking about what they were doing for the Donna Schwabens Oktoberfest and the absolute chaos that was that weekend.
Yeah,
like
sure.
amazing chaos, like the best kind of chaos.
Yeah.
And apparently, I don't understand this. Joe didn't get the memo that they were wearing their German clothing to church.
What did he
Doesn't
wake up
he-
at church?
doesn't
I mean,
he live in
everybody
the
else
same
was in their
house?
German
Like when
outfit,
they
and
were
Joe was
all-
in slacks and a
Right, like when they were all loading
know,
up into the van,
khakis
like
and a
no
tie.
one-
Bow tie.
yeah.
No one said like when they were in the van, hey, you're dressed there. Like
Yeah.
where
Looking like a Mormon going to Catholic service. What are you doing?
It was a great episode. Caroline did such an amazing job of doing this on her own and still being able to have a 38-ish minute episode. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Her burp
good.
count sucked though.
The burp count
That's
sucked,
the
but,
best part of the solo show is the
but the
burp count.
sip count. Like, I hope she had someone driving her home.
I listened. I didn't.
Okay. All right. I watched this one because she made a comment about, I don't know how you're going to count the sips. And I'm like, you have one camera
amazing.
angle.
There's vision.
I'm just going to count the sips. It's fine.
Same way I always do.
Do
Ticker.
Exactly. Got my clicker out. Do either of you have any other notes before we get into the sip count?
No.
No, I think that
No.
covers it for me.
I watched as well.
All right. She had, in 38 minutes, solo, a total of 33 sips.
All
Pretty
right.
good.
That is pretty good. That is 66
ounces.
if you're playing by our rules,
Just over a growler.
which is 4.125 pints.
Yeah.
Yes. So, again, hopefully she had a designated driver and
Yeah.
had a good rest of her evening.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah. All right. We ready to move on to the next show?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
How does Barstool...
Wait, can we go back for 1 second?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're good?
Now we can go
Yeah,
ahead.
we're
Okay.
going.
All right.
Yep. Go ahead.
Barstool Perspective, a single perspective.
one
Is that what we're
perspective,
doing?
yes,
yes.
Okay. This was from October the 18th, and I'm going to call it the Whale Dick episode.
Okay.
Because, again,
Yeah.
they're not naming their episodes anymore,
Fine.
so I now have to do this for them.
Yep.
I won't charge for it. I'll do this free of charge. It's
Well,
fine, it's fine.
Dick.
Yeah. The very...
Whale?
Whale.
Whale.
Oh, I think it's well
Whale.
Dick.
First and most important note from this episode, Bret was
Back.
Oh, that's what.
yeah.
I thought it was a whale dick hand signal. I didn't understand.
No, I'm not. No. I'm not doing that one.
It looked like a whale dick a little bit. I got confused. Back. I got confused.
Let's see. Bret stayed in a lot of houses in Australia.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Yes,
and got completely shit-faced at each and every one.
That's what one does.
Hopefully
in Australia,
housekeeping,
at a hotel.
Hopefully housekeeping was...
Housekeeping.
Wasn't there like a weird pre-prohibition thing where they called inns here, like bars were called inns? Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah, that's kind of the
just went
joke.
away.
Where
Is,
Jesus was born.
Yeah, in
manger.
a bar.
Well, no, they got kicked. No, there was no room at the inn. That's what happened.
Hey,
football is saving booze.
I went to a football game
team.
this last weekend.
Yes.
Oh, look at me, Louie over here.
Went to a Bearcats game. Mm-hmm. I have not been to a Bearcats game since Cincy Light has been a thing. Mm-hmm. It was insane.
How much Cincy Light was out there?
There was so much Cincy Light.
Awesome.
And to the point where there were people I've never seen people turning away the beer guy with Bud Light and be like, no, I need Cincy Light. It was
That's
everybody.
awesome.
Holy shit.
There was I saw a couple Bud Light cans and a couple Miller Lite cans. I saw one Truth can. Everything else was Cincy Light.
Damn.
Just Cincy Light everywhere.
I saw the picture you put on social media, referencing that with all the cans on
it was
stands
everywhere.
after people left, and it's like, holy crap,
Yeah,
that is fantastic. That is phenomenal. That
I think
it's
that,
taken off that way.
Nippert Stadium is 100% sustaining Cincy Light right now. All of it is going to Nippert Stadium.
Yeah, I believe it. Talked about.
So yes, football is saving beer. Cincy Light specifically.
Yes. I would. I would agree with that. There were a lot of yes or no only questions this episode. No.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All of the questions were very
They weren't
polarizing.
multiple choice.
No. It was just
no.
yes or no. I talked about levels of sales, different focuses or different forms of the
Yes.
sale.
Yeah.
Be it from
supposed to be
wines,
yes or no only.
beer, and then specifically IPAs or seltzers, that type of thing.
Yes.
I don't think they really mentioned so much on the first level, but the second level they felt is branding. Sales happen based on what's on the label. What does it look like? Mike even said, I only buy my beer, booze, and wine based off of what animal is on the label.
Right.
If there's not an animal on it, he's not buying it.
I think label is probably number one of why people buy beer.
Well, okay, so I guess maybe level one would be what it is. Wine, beer, that type of thing. And then level two
Maybe.
goes more to that.
Even then, maybe not.
So you think that what that branding looks like is the most important factor, not necessarily what is actually in the vessel?
I mean, when you word it that way, yes, 100%. But no, I do think people are if they want wine, they're buying wine. If they want beer, they're buying beer.
But then after that, what's the next factor in?
Yeah,
okay, I know I want
definitely
wine.
Label.
Now, what wine? It's going to a label.
Nope, label. Almost.
Okay.
Wine may be different. I don't know wine enough, but beer definitely label.
I will say that I'm not a wine drinker, but I sometimes see a bottle of wine in the label. I'm like, I want to buy that just because that's a cool ass label, and maybe I'll like what's in it. But then I just never really.
Yeah, most of the time when I'm shopping for wine, I'm buying lots of different kinds of wine just to kind of restock the wine. And then once I get home, what I'm choosing to drink might be based on my mood and the kind of wine. But when I'm buying it, it's label.
Yeah.
I'm buying it based on the label.
And what
price.
about beer? If you see an interesting label.
I'm a weird example with beer.
That's true. Well, which is why I kind of asked, because you are that, that outlier of.
I'm just buying what I haven't had, basically.
Okay, that's fair. Let's see. Feedback from judges at beer competitions is complete crap.
I agree.
Which kind of ties into things that we've talked about before with bias. Every competition is based on bias. You may have, does it check these boxes? Yes. But do I like what's in these boxes more so than something else?
As somebody who recently hosted a beer competition, what kind of feedback would you give the breweries?
all your beers are too damn good. It's so hard, but right. I mean, it
was really good, just wasn't as good.
Right, but when you try to figure out like, well, what specifically was it? Like, it's so hard to go, or at least for me, they were so nuanced. Like, one of them was just something about the smell of this one just didn't come across as fresh as some of the other ones, even though I don't think that, like, it was...
They were all exactly the same.
Right, they were all exactly
like
the
within
same
like
age.
2 or 3 days, right?
Yeah, the package dates were all, I think, within that exact same week. So, like, what kind of feedback is that? Like, well, your beer smelled older than these other beers, even though they were all the same age. But I don't think it wasn't an old smell. There was, I don't know. It's like there's just something that doesn't do that. But did it check all the boxes for that style? Yes. So then my bias comes into it, which is why judging is complete and utter bullshit.
It's not complete and utter bullshit.
No.
It's just not useful.
Right. Or it's not all right. I mean, because
you're asking somebody's opinion about a beer. Mm-hmm. What does that really matter?
Right.
Well, I mean, I think the judges judging really think they're giving valuable feedback, and I think I think the goal of what they're doing for most contests is to say, at the end of this, we have what we feel is the most representative of the description of this particular class. Mm-hmm. Here is what we deemed collectively the best example of that. Mm-hmm. Doesn't necessarily mean all these beers are shit or terrible.
Right.
We're just saying that if we're going to put a book together based off of this contest to say what represents that style, it's that one.
But even that idea is so ridiculous. Well, because when you look at the styles, it tells you what beer is the perfect example of that style.
Yeah.
There is an example that says here, this, and this are the perfect example of that style.
It does. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
So those beers should just win.
But then I think
example.
this part of the conversation wasn't necessarily on like picking the winners, but like the feedback that judges will give off of whatever you send to them.
It was a little bit of both, I think.
It was a little bit of both. But I mean, if say you have 3 judges, and you get feedback, like 2 of the judges say this is perfect representation of the style, this is great, but then the third one said it could use a little more of a citrus note to take it, whatever. Is the next time you brew that beer, are you going to brew it for that one judge who who may not be judging that same category the next time? Like, how do you take that feedback, which all the feedback for the most part is going to be biased, is going to be their opinion on what they think really worked or did not work.
Or compared to the other beers around you.
Right, exactly. I see kind of both sides, how it can be useful, but at the same time, does it actually do any good? Because, again, you're not brewing your beer for that particular small group of people. You're brewing it for a much larger audience. And if that much larger audience doesn't have any issue, concern, constructive criticism, why mess with what works for your actual customers?
If you've got a beer that is the top seller in your tap room and you send it to a competition and they tell you to completely change the beer, don't completely change the beer. That's stupid.
Right.
Maybe brew another beer if you want to win some kind of an award, but don't change the thing that people are buying and enjoying because somebody told you to.
Yeah. Bruce Guys.
Unless it's me.
Unless it's Marco. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then, change it.
Bruce Guys did say that they are going to be introducing their very own beer competition. You pay them $100 and they will give you a gold medal.
I mean,
and it's kind of right. I mean, and if you
fair
give them,
and equitable.
if you give them an extra $50,
a lot of competition for that type of competition.
Yeah. And if you give them an extra $50, they'll give you feedback on that beer.
Oh wow!
They actually said that whatever medal you get is like 100% representative of how much money you give them. So in theory, if you give them like $1,000, you might get like a car or something.
And that's how capitalism works.
Golden car.
Absolutely.
Golden moped.
Apparently, if you do a collaboration with Urban Artifact, you will never do another collaboration with them again.
That does track.
That is from from Bret himself.
It is from Bret himself. Yes.
I, off the top of my head, cannot think of a brewery that has collaborated with them that has done it again.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not another brewery, but I guess you could say that Higher Gravity collaborates with them for Beer Vent. in a way, but it's not quite the same.
Exclusive beer and a collaboration are two different things.
Okay, that's fair. That is fair. Let's see. Mike allows the name of a brewery to dictate if he will drink it or not.
I think I would.
I can see, depending on what the name is, if it's something that is incredibly morally offensive to me, then yeah, I mean, I'm not going to...
What's your line?
I don't know.
Would you drink wiener beer?
I would drink wiener beer.
What about three guys named Dick?
I would drink that. I don't think I will drink girl beer. That is offensive to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's not like the brewery name that, but yeah.
Would you drink guy beer?
What about Guy Fieri?
Because if you say something different now, it's a very sexist statement.
I don't think I would. I think I would have that same kind of like.
I like you sticking to your guns.
What is this? Yeah. I think that calling something a guy beer already somehow fits into the still over-present beer culture, whereas girl beer just sounds fucking offensive and sexist and just demeaning. But again, yeah, if there's something that's called like guy beer, man beer, I'd be like, no, this is stupid.
A little bit off topic, but if somebody makes a man beer or a guy beer, and it's a pink can and a very floral kind of, stereotypically female oriented beer. Does that make it better as some kind of thing, like calling out this idea of sexist beer things? Is there a way to do that to draw attention to it, or just? I
don't know. I think that, and it could just be me personally, but I think that it still has that same level of like offensiveness or like demeaning. Like you're trying to diminish what that, I don't even want to call it a gender role, but what that perception of that, I guess that gender of that noun in a way is like it's stupid, it's dumb, it's not, it doesn't help anyone, you're either demeaning something or you're poking fun at it, saying like, oh, guy beer, it's all pink, this is a sissy beer, air quote, like it's not, no, it's no better. I don't think it's any better. I think that the name of it, just sort of like the name of certain beers, just sometimes aren't, they're not funny, they're not clever, they're just offensive, even though maybe they're not trying to be. I think Hoof-Hearted, like, whatever. I have no issues with that brewery name, with that anything. It's
farts are inclusive to everybody, though.
Sure. But I can understand if you're like, this is just stupid, I'm not going to buy a beer from them. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to.
See, I draw a very distinct line between something that either singles out a certain type of person or certain gender or skin color or race or whatever it may be. Something that singles out a certain type of person versus something that may be offensive, but it kind of stands with everybody.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to make poop jokes on your beer or fart jokes or something like that, I don't care at all.
Yeah.
Maybe it's offensive, maybe, but I don't care. But we all poop.
You're offending everyone. Right, exactly. It's an all-inclusive
The brown note
offense.
can be anybody's beer.
A couple other notes on this episode. Status spirit sales are up, which is basically spirits that are expensive just because. Like, there's no good reason. They're not even good spirits, but for whatever.
They can be.
I guess they can be. Okay, that's fair. I don't buy them, so I don't look into them.
Would you buy them?
I guess I could kind of justify buying a pour. Again, like buying a drink of it. If money was no object, sure. I mean, I do that with, beer and other things. Like, I mean, I say perfect example.
Sometimes I tell them to supersize it. I don't mean it to be supersized, but I do.
Well, I mean, this is a bad example because the product is absolutely phenomenal. Dick's potato chips.
Yeah.
I got that for the first time purely because of the look at this, like the amusement factor of it. This is something new. This is something that, is fun. It's the crystal bust of Marco.
Guess what?
And then guess what? It's fucking amazing.
It's also kind of craft beer in a lot of ways. Like there are a lot of craft light lagers that are more expensive than macro craft lagers, but we spend the money on them regardless.
Yeah.
Hot dicks, great, by the way.
Oh my God, yeah, they're fantastic.
Great job with the hot dicks.
Love hot dicks.
We got some here. You gotta grab some hot dicks.
Hot dicks, yep. Jason is getting hot dicks into everyone's hands.
Yep.
He does that.
He does. He's very good at it.
Yep.
Then they had a new From the Can beer review, which they're turning into shorts. So I love the kind of transition. Like, okay, guys, this is what we're going to do. So we're going to take a pause, and then we're going to jump into
30 seconds. Let's talk for 4 minutes.
I love the kind of behind the scenes we get from that when you're watching the episode.
We're going to clip it. Everyone
stop talking. Everyone be really quiet. We're just typing. We can't impact what you're doing.
Someone turn that water off.
Oh, my God.
I think it's the air conditioner.
Flooding all the time in that place. Did they ever patch the hole in the floor? Holes?
I have
floor?
not been there for a while. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Brett, Mike, let us know. We're concerned about your safety.
There's
Well,
probably a
that's
piece of
Lindsay.
cardboard over it at least.
Yeah, duct taped around, just, okay.
That was
Don't
one of
step
the
on that
things
cardboard.
a previous job of mine when I used to have to go door to door to do the job. One of the first
Camel
bits of
sales.
one of the first bits of information was don't step on the welcome mat.
Oh,
Yeah.
because you might go through
Yes.
the welcome
Yeah.
mat. Oh, my
The
God.
other one is don't touch the doorknob. Yeah. A lot of strange.
I think
This was before hand sanitizer, so it was like, it was a real strange.
Isn't that why doorknobs were always brass? Because that's like
it kind of,
Doesn't with the
antibacterial.
gooey? The sticky or the gooey
Yeah,
or
that's
the
true.
slimy.
I'm already gooey and sticky as it is. I'm just always
Hey.
sticky.
Once
Hey, now.
again, glad you're over there. That's all I'm saying.
Feel my hand.
No.
Whoa.
That's
I'm
not
gonna
his
put it on
hand.
your face.
That's not it. No.
Slid right off.
It's sticky, right?
All right. We are already 52 minutes into this recording, and we still have like 3 more shows to talk. No, 1, 2, 4 more shows to talk
Oh,
about.
my God.
Good freaking Lord. And I want to take a door walk because it is beautiful outside.
All right.
So sip count for this episode, 35 minutes.
Tuck the mixer under your arm. Let's go. Get in the truck.
I mean, it's battery pack, so everyone just carry. I mean, it's going to be awkward. We can only get like 6 feet apart max.
Yeah,
So, which, it's fine. It's fine.
I prefer not to be that far away from you guys anyways. You get scared. Out there in the big
wilderness.
city.
No kidding.
Big
Get lost.
city.
Get lost in the park. I mean, you never
Downtown
know. You never
Blue
know.
Ash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Not even
true.
downtown Blue Ash.
No, it's
Downtown Summit Park,
yeah.
which is more downtown than Blue Ash.
I mean, we're basically in the middle of in the wilderness here.
Well, this is
You know,
the
it's-
wilderness, yeah.
yeah.
It's trees.
Mike took 13 sips,
Okay.
and Brett kept pretty good pace with 16.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
They were matching up. Yeah, it was
I like
pretty
when they
good.
sync up.
Yeah. So 29 total countables, which
There we
is
go.
58 ounces or
Okay.
3.625 pints
All right.
in this episode.
Very good.
Good job. Excellent job. Do we
Okay job. Let's not give them too much credit.
It is a decent job. Decent job. What do you
Neither.
say we take a quick break?
Yeah.
I'll do some
Okay.
math. We'll fill.
math
We'll,
is-
we'll refill some glasses.
The mathing.
And then we will be right.
I'll ride my camel down the sidewalk and come right back.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see you when you get back.
Let's go, Steve.
How was your camel ride?
It was
That
fine.
sounded completely wrong.
Well, no, it's
Did it?
fine.
No,
I
no.
rode a camel.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, though, different topic. It's like once you put one hot dick in your mouth, you have to just keep shoving it in your mouth the
Oh
whole
my
time.
God! I'm
My
telling
God.
you. I'm telling you. Oh, that's fantastic. That crunch is wonderful.
Man, those are good dicks.
I'm having Cappy snacks because I
Ooh.
haven't had one of these in a while, and my
Is that-
God,
is that the-
it's the regular, not the raspberry.
Okay.
The raspberry's good.
Is it raspberry or blackberry?
It's Cincinnati black raspberry.
Is that a thing? We have our own black raspberries?
I think it's supposed to be reminiscent of black raspberry chip ice cream. Would be my
okay.
guess. I like it, but I like the original better. So
Okay.
that's what I got.
Fruit punch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it is. So it's better than it should be. It is stupidly good.
Fruit punch is the best kind of punch.
I'm not a fruit punch fan, but this is
Really?
It's I typically don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, but this one I do. This one I like. It's how about we talk about the Miami Valley Craft Beer Podcast?
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Sure.
episode 32 already.
Wow.
Sam Adams' Cincy Taproom with Keith McKeely. McKeely. Ooh, you're
Keith.
getting low there.
I forgot to get a beer.
Oh,
on our
no.
break. It's all right.
All right. Well, I mean, you can get one while Marco and I talk. That's always an
It's all right.
option.
How long are my cords?
I mean,
I
you
can
can
make
probably.
this work.
I think you can make that work. Yeah. Let's see.
Old Keith.
Keith came from the Angel City Taproom in L.A., which is also Boston Beer owned. Is it a taproom or is it a brewery? I didn't actually look at that. Is it? Okay.
At least it was.
So,
I don't know that
Not sure if it is already. Okay. His intro to craft beer were 2 Boston beer brands, Sam Adams Cherry Wheat and Dogfish Head's 60 Minute, which are 2, I don't want to say extremely different sides of the spectrum as far as beer goes, but one of those things is definitely not like the other.
That's right.
Yeah. Very cool. Are you gonna?
It's very cool. Over here. Get a beer.
He's getting a beer, and he is.
Cherry Wheat was an old go-to for me a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of my chords reached.
Yeah, it's fine. I think we still heard you.
It's fine.
What'd you get a refill of? Just same thing?
I think the same thing. I said number 6, which for some reason in my head told me it was the same number. I don't know if she just and she got me the same thing, or she poured me something else.
Yeah. And Marco,
Okay.
did you get a refill of something when you got up?
I have
I didn't.
Untitled Arts.
Ooh, nice.
West Coast.
Excellent. That's a good one. Tractor Beer has been rebranded as American Light. It is their light lager.
Not rebranded. It's been reformulated a little bit. It's like a series of evolutions.
Just like Boston Lager, right?
A little different.
Had to throw that in. They did talk a bit about that, and
which is BS.
I was going to say there was definitely some. No, it's the same. It's just kind of like little tweaks here and there to make sure it fits.
It's also not better. I don't care what anybody says. It's not better.
It's not better.
No.
All right.
And like this idea.
Maybe you and Keith need to duke it out.
All right. So this idea that I think it's just more drinkable now. I think it's better. I'm sorry. Like the beer that millions of people were drinking for 40 years.
What? That
built an entire company. You're gonna make it better and make it more drinkable? No, no. People already told you that it was drinkable. They told you by letting this company exist.
Yeah.
If it was not drinkable, the whole company would not exist right now.
They try to compare that to the Fat Tire, air quotes, refresh.
Terrible.
It's
terrible.
Which it's not right. It's not even the same kind of right. That's what I thought too. I'm like, that's kind of a weird comparison to try to make, because
they happened at the same time is what was hard for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one was
like a 1-2 gut punch.
But one was a complete different.
They're both
style
completely
change.
Different beers.
But Boston Lager is still a lager, where Fat Tire is
and an amber lager. It's still an amber lager.
Okay, that's fair.
Well,
that's fair. But it's
Fat Tire is still an ale.
It's.
Yeah, but that's
right,
it.
Yeah.
It's still an ale. That's it.
An ale with fizz.
That's fair. That's fair. We'll go with that one. Let's see. They talked about why Keith decided to become a Cicerone and how it opened up his palate to German beers. He's like, I never really enjoyed it until I had to.
This is my point where I left off in my episode, which is in my car right now, playing. Well, it's not playing in my car currently, but
it
will be when I get back in it.
Yeah.
Let's see, off flavors and the desire for a consumer level class on that. Like I have mentioned this to multiple people at multiple breweries. I know that. I think Rheingeist used to do one, and I don't know.
Matra used to do one. Yeah,
I didn't remember who did one that was actually open to the public.
It was Matra.
Was it Matra? Okay. Why was I thinking that Rheingeist did one once?
I've never seen one.
I have no idea. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Symmetry, I apologize. I don't know what I'm talking about.
They were fun, but at the same time, I don't know. Yes, it would be fun if a brewery offered some kind of class, but this idea that we need to keep educating consumers to what good beer tastes like.
Yeah, I don't think
is not right. It's the wrong way to look at it.
I don't think that the consumer necessarily needs to be educated on all those different little nuances, because they're going to drink what they like.
Yeah.
Regardless, they could be drinking the most skunked Little Kings ever, and that's the flavor that they want. That's what they want out of Little Kings. If they get one that's fresh and not skunked, they're going to be like, I don't want this. But I'm talking about for the people kind of like us that do enjoy that deeper dive, trying to see, okay, have I had some of these off flavors before that I'm less familiar with? I think everyone knows diacetyl and the green apple one.
Acetate.
Yeah. Acetaldehyde?
Yeah, acetaldehyde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those are
Hose water is my
pretty
favorite. I don't know what the technical
familiar.
term is. I just call it hose water.
hose water is the best. I mean, when you were a kid and you
tastes so
turned it like,
good.
oh my God, give me hose water. I mean, yeah, give me hose water.
Yeah,
Sure, why
yeah.
not? Why
That
not?
was
But-
when Mad Tree did theirs.
Okay, okay.
There was that was the one that I could pick out the quickest and the best.
And you're like,
because
this one's
because
great,
I
and they're like,
enjoyed
that's,
it so
that's not
much.
supposed to be great.
good.
But right, I mean, that,
I can
and that's
taste
the
the
thing.
hose.
It doesn't.
so
It doesn't need to
Hose.
be. I don't think that the
There's some
consumer.
hose in this beer.
Yeah.
Why?
Use a hoe.
Apparently, well, no, we won't go into what Caroline called me.
Whoa. Hey. Shots fired. Pew, pew.
Yep. But no, I agree with you. I don't think that the average consumer needs that level of education.
Right.
But I do think I do think there are enough people that are bigger beer nerds that would enjoy something like that.
Sure.
And so I think
Yeah.
that someone should offer it. You know.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just my take, my hot take on that. Let's see. 1997 is when Boston Lager was finally brewed in-house and not contracted by Hudipole. So still being brewed in the same facility, but it
Yeah.
was now a Boston Beer owned
Yeah.
facility and not
Right.
a essentially contract
Right.
brew.
Where Jim could go, look, Dad, look what I bought.
Exactly. And it worked. I think it worked. I think it was a smart investment. Drink lab beer, or I guess you should drink what the tap rooms have that's labeled as lab beer, because those are their test batches. Those are the small
Right.
things that they are trying to see if they sell.
Well, and we've seen like the right now we're in this middle of like this really fun thing where tractor beer did lead into
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
that's going to
yeah,
be really big, I
absolutely.
think, for Boston beer.
Right now, Dunkel is in the Sam Adams Cincinnati tap room as their lab beer, which I love a good Dunkel, so I'm hoping that I can make it down there while that's still on tap. And if you go down there and you
Dunkel.
have
Dunkel.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad.
Dunkel.
My bad. If you go down there, be sure you scan the
German.
QR code to give your feedback on the lab beers. That's the only way that,
That was
they really know.
It was a Calagione idea, right?
Sure.
It was actually one of my ideas when Braxton put in Braxton Labs. Mm-hmm. I told him like this
Rip.
is like you're missing this entire point of what labs could be.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have some way for people to like sit down and drink beer and have like an immediate way to feedback. I don't care if it's a ballot box where you put things in and you just give.
He said
feedback.
lab in the pod. I thought he said live.
Oh.
I thought he said live, to where there was a live interaction, like a social media interaction
Gotcha.
component to it.
Gotcha.
like a person that like you call them and like, here's my feedback on this beer.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that even more.
It'd be kind of like the drunk line. You leave a voicemail with, what
Exactly.
what you liked and
Yeah.
what you didn't like.
Exactly.
That's
Except for
actually
Some very
Except it's,
no. I want
on-
like a face to face, like some very nice person that like, hello, thank you for pinging me. What are you drinking? I'm drinking the tractor beer.
what tap room are you in, and what lab beer are you enjoying
What do
this
you
evening?
What do you think about it?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that'd be fantastic. Talking about the improving area around the taproom and OTR and how that is nothing but positive for the taproom.
If truck nuts were a beer, it would be this beer.
Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
What, truck nuts?
Truck nuts personified as a beer.
What kind of beer would truck nuts be if truck nuts was a beer? It's
This
got to be
one.
a
I mean,
just
light
light
lager.
lager.
That's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, too easy. Let's see. They talked about their philanthropic efforts, which I don't think a lot of people know about. They don't really broadcast them a lot.
They do a little
They
bit,
do a
yeah.
little bit, but I don't think it's as
I think
heavy of a focus of like their social media presence, that type of thing.
Not as much as they could. That's
Exactly.
for sure.
I think-
Exactly.
the philanthropic efforts in the community, I think people miss the fact that a lot of those philanthropic efforts are actually geared towards businesses in the
Yes.
community.
Yeah, like small
That's what
businesses.
people may be missing, is like where Mad Tree might plant trees.
Mm-hmm.
Boston Beer does a lot of
They're trying to
business to
Helping
they're,
business.
small
they're trying to
business,
build
yeah.
something
Right.
outside of themselves.
Right. Kind of like their pitch room where they have small local businesses kind of pitch their ideas,
Right.
and based on whatever criteria, Sam Adams will give them a $10,000 grant
You
to
pitch, they
try
catch.
to make those. Is it all about being a pitcher or a catcher?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Just asking questions.
All right.
Those are all the notes that I had written down about this episode. Another really good episode from Blake.
Yeah, it's good.
He's talking to some amazing people.
Yeah.
You were a catcher, weren't you?
Oh, Julia, what time is it?
Oh no, is it that time?
It's that time.
She's not ready. I still can't hear it. There it is.
I love this so much.
I was
time.
starting to worry that it was like some kind of pitch that
you can't hear.
gnomes can't hear.
Shout out to Don Rock the Imposter
Don
on YouTube
Rock.
for this amazing recorder rendition of the Monday Night Football theme. Seriously, watch his videos. They're lovely. They're absolutely delightful. I absolutely love it. Do we want to go over the current points? Because
Yeah,
this was
we
a
should.
big weekend.
This was a big week for me.
This was a big weekend
week.
for you. Okay,
Tripled my score, I think.
pretty much. So right now, Marco has 4 points.
Oh,
I have 5, and Gnome also has 4.
yeah.
Boom.
So it is still anybody's game. Gnome, you got the very first bonus point this week.
Yeah.
Because the very first play the Bengals made was a punt return for a touchdown. It was
Touchdown.
fucking awesome.
It's a
It was
kickoff,
so cool.
so at the
Kickoff
beginning of the game,
kickoff
it's a
return,
kickoff.
yes.
Punt is different.
Well,
It's where
yes.
the guy-
As soon as I said, I'm like, nope, that was wrong because it was. But
Gonna make a
it's fine.
sexist
It's
joke
fine.
about how you don't understand
I don't
football,
know
but
sports.
that's fine.
No, it's fine. It's good. It's perfectly fine. But again, the rules were any return for a
Yeah,
touchdown, so it could have been a punt. This just was not.
Yeah.
Was not at all. Do either of you have your picks ready?
I got mine.
Okay. Who are you? Let me get into your thing on the spreadsheet here. Who are you going with this week, Gnome?
Well, I thought long and hard about this.
Okay.
And I think what are the Dolphins? What are they?
The Dolphins are. This isn't right. Did I go? Oh, I went too
That's
far.
fine. I'll just go Who Dey. I'm going to go Bengals. Forget that. Marco,
Oh,
let me know.
man, really?
Yep.
All right.
Bengals are giving 2.5 to the Eagles.
Nope. That's not what's
Whoa.
going to happen.
All right.
Whoa.
I have faith in our hometown
They're going
boys.
to
Yeah.
give a lot more than that to the Eagles.
Ooh.
Oh, all right. Marco.
I'm going to pick the Lions this week, who are
fuck you.
favored by 11 over the Tennessee Titans.
Fuck you. That's who I was going to
Good
pick.
pick.
Because, not just because I think they have a good shot at winning, but shout out to our friends at Half-Ass Beer Review for getting 900 subscribers.
They're not my friends.
On YouTube.
I never
Yeah.
met them.
I mean, I've never met him either, but I'm just saying that because it sounds nice.
Okay.
It sounds nice. So, congratulations to them on 900 subscribers on YouTube. I was going to pick the Lions in honor of them, but Marco fucked me over by picking them instead. I even already had it in the spreadsheet.
Sorry.
Oh,
So-
man. She even pre-filled the spreadsheet.
Because I'm like, there's no way that anyone's going to pick, because that's one of the rules. None of us can pick the exact same time week after week. So I am going to go for the short week team, Thursday Night Football. I'm just going to go ahead and say the Vikings.
Are you going
again.
to pick the Vikings?
Jason convinced me that
They,
they're going to win this week. So if I don't get a point, then he has to buy my next beer.
Oh, okay.
Who are they playing?
Vikings are giving
Vi-
2.5 to the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, I know. I'm nervous.
You know what? I'm okay with that. I think the Vikings have it.
I think they can do. Yeah, I think they can do it.
Speaking
we'll see how that goes.
Speaking of football, Julie, can I get that Don Rock again here? Can I give me Don Rock? Give it to me.
You want to have Don Rock? All
I
right,
wanna have-
let
give
me
me Don
pull up
Rock, Julia.
Here we go.
Deshaun Watson. Julie, do you know what the D in Deshaun Watson stands for?
Dead career.
Close, but not quite, Julia. It stands for definitely not worth $138 million for the first 3 years of his contract so far.
Nope.
Julia, give me Don Rock
no, but
again.
no.
Let me ask
no.
you guys a question.
Yes.
I've never before in my life felt good. Felt like actual good. Like there's been times where I'm like, oh, it's a little bit of a relief, but I've never felt good about somebody getting hurt when playing a sport.
Yeah, same.
I mean, it's felt good.
Cheers to the Browns fans that were booing and cheering as he was being carted off the field.
I've never in my life felt that before, and I feel I still feel kind of weird about this celebration for somebody getting hurt.
I think the reason that I am okay with feeling good about it is because
it's not life-threatening.
Right, it's not life-threatening.
Yeah,
it may not even be career-ending. It's
the only thing better was if he stepped back to take that pass and his dick fell off. It just fell off onto the field.
Well, speaking of, Julia, do you know what the A in Deshaun Watson stands for?
Asshole.
It stands for Achilles. His Achilles took the easy way out. It quit on the season. All right.
Karma wins.
And the only other sports ball thing that I will comment on from this past week, the Dolphins and Tua, and how he's like, nope, not wearing the Guardian cap, not doing whatever. It's
until I die is what he said.
Yeah.
He is an adult. He can make his own decisions.
I don't know that he can anymore.
Right.
I don't know that he can make a logical decision.
The doctors have cleared him, but what the hell does that mean? I don't know.
This is your brain. This is your brain on football.
He either has or is developing CTE. Something terrible is going to... And, this is one of those things where these are the injuries that I'm I don't feel good about. Even if it's cool, this is, this helps our team. I'm no, this is literally...
It's also weird because that was the year that we drafted Burrow. Burrow was the top quarterback. Tua was number 2.
Sure, yeah.
And I would have felt good about either one of them. And then you look at how Tua's career has gone, and it's man, that I feel some kind of connection to that. And I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like seeing him get hurt over and over.
I understand that it is his decision. He knows what he is signing up for.
Sure.
Whatever. But I really hope that there are multiple people in his life, both professionally and personally, that are saying, hey.
There's not, because both of those sides of his life are people that are benefiting off of the money he's making.
Yeah. I don't know. It just, one of these days he's going to have his head hit that turf and he's not going to get back up. Or it's going to be
even if that doesn't happen, a
couple years down the road, he's going to snap and
when he's an old man,
family.
When he's an old man, he's going to be.
He's not even going to have to be an old man. He's going to be in his maybe 40s, and he's not going to be able to function.
I don't know how many of you are in your 40s, but it's very old. You guys are both in your. You guys are both old.
Yeah, hell yeah, we are. Thanks, Gnome. That was the Truth Beer Pod NFL Deathmatch Challenge picks. And again, congratulations to Half-Ass Beer Review for 900 subscribers, and hopefully we'll get a chance to meet you here in a few weeks.
Yeah.
That'd be really awesome.
That'd be fun.
Bring some hot dicks.
Bring some hot dicks. And I guess go Cat teams and Viking teams for this week.
All right.
Let's move on to Cincy Brewcast.
Let's go.
Okay.
This was Volume 10, Episode 16, Streetside, Demogorgon, and Gold Medals. This was with Garrett Hickey. Black Cats won a gold at GABF for the English-style brown ale category.
And I broke the news to Garrett.
Yes, and he was like, oh yeah, that happened, didn't it? Huh. I wasn't really paying any attention. I was excited that I was actually in front of my computer and saw that the award ceremony started. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. I'm actually going to kind of see this in real time.
I feel like it's a big award win for them.
I agree, but I also agree with you that maybe part of their luck is no one from Streetside really being there. There's always something going on. Maybe they need to keep up that trend of not realizing what's happening.
Yeah.
And that is kind of their good luck charm.
Maybe.
But, it's not the same as an American brown ale, the English-style brown ale.
Right.
And, no one's drinking it. So people come in saying, hey, I'd like to try this beer. And they're like, yeah, we don't have it. We brew it once for GABF, and that's it. My words, not Garrett's, but kind of close because it's not a year-round beer. It's not something that you
they
can
brew
always
it occasionally
get.
Throughout the year. Mm-hmm.
I've had it several times. It's
different
good. I really like it.
Right.
It's an award beer. So I wonder how prevalent that is that breweries brew a beer only to submit it to. Oh, I'm sure it does. But how?
I'm not going to name names, but there are breweries
that
even if they make a beer year round, the beer at awards time
is a different version
might
of
taste
that.
a little different.
Okay.
So there might be a batch of that beer that just tastes a little better.
And they're keeping it from the masses.
No, you can still try it. It's there. You can taste it. It tastes better sometimes. Well, yeah, this is better. Yeah. GABF season.
Should nostalgia beers make a comeback? And will they ever taste the same
No,
as
the
they
brewery
did?
Nostalgia, new owner that came into the brewery is kind of a turd, and like they ruined the brewery.
Nostalgic, not nostalgia.
okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was very sad to kind of see the
Just
decline of that.
quick downfall of the
Yeah,
brewery.
Yeah. It's a great place. Sean was absolutely. Hopefully, Sean's doing well.
He's doing
Hopefully
great.
Good, excellent.
I mean, he's got
that's
2
all that-
kids, which is miserable.
Well,
but-
yeah, so he's not doing that great.
Yeah.
But he's also not stressing about owning a brewery anymore.
yeah.
So who knows? Let's see. Should you keep award-winning beers on tap at all times? We already kind of talked about that. I think that if it's a popular beer, sure. If it's not, then no. I don't think that you should waste
Well,
tank space, tap
It
space, that kind
depends.
of. It does. I mean, I feel like that's you'll get a different answer depending on the brewery. Some breweries aren't able to.
If you've got multiple people coming in every week asking for a weird style
Mm-hmm.
because it won an award, keep it on tap all the time. It doesn't matter what the style is. It depends
Yeah.
how many people want to drink it.
Well, Musi. I mean, my God, how many awards has that beer won? It should always be on tap. I think it pretty much
lot.
is. Yeah, it's like 12, 13. Well, no,
More than
with
that.
with open cut. Yeah, that's.
No, it's like 12 GABF.
Oh, just G. Oh, I was trying.
That's not a
It's-
real number, but
It's our number.
it's a lot.
It's our truth now. It is our truth now.
yeah.
There was some talk about cheating the competition or the categories in these competitions.
Mm-hmm.
How sometimes, depending on the style, if you have a beer that kind of checks all the boxes in multiple styles,
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe submit it to the one with fewer entries. Like,
Cheetah.
is that yes? And wasn't Happy Amber? Didn't they do
Happy
that with that
Amber,
as well?
yeah. It's,
Which
Happy
I don't-
Amber. Happy Amber doesn't bother me as much because an American amber ale and then a English
ESB?
bitter or something.
Yeah.
They're close enough that I can
well, and,
see
and that's,
the kind of cross between
well,
the two.
and that's my
But
thought.
Cheetah is a lager.
Yes.
It is a lager
Yes.
beer. In theory, it's a lager beer. Maybe I don't know what they're actually doing. It's a lager beer that won for American Cream Ale. Those are two different,
Very different, yeah.
complete opposite sides of the yeast spectrum.
But if it checks all the boxes for the category, you should.
matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. But
But no, I know what you're saying. But I
if
feel
you're
like,
if you're a lager, you're a lager. If you're an ale, you're an ale.
Ale, okay.
An ale should not win as a lager, and a lager should not win as an ale.
Okay.
I, from the bottom of my heart, I believe that.
I agree.
If
I mean, if
there
you
is
want to
a-
toggle back and forth in categories within
If
lager,
there's
within
a
ale,
competition,
that's fine.
if there's a competition and it's like, hey, these are Citra hopped IPAs. This is the best Citra hopped IPA, and there's a beer that tastes like Citra, but it doesn't have Citra hops in it. It shouldn't win the competition. It shouldn't be allowed
That's
to even
fair.
enter the competition because there's
That's
not
fair.
Citra hops in it. It's a Citra hopped
Okay.
competition.
That's fair. I can see that. I can see that.
I apologize for anybody who identifies as a man or a woman that
Or as a
enters into
Citra
some
hop.
kind of competition that. I feel like
But no,
ales are
I know
ales,
what you
lagers are
were
lagers.
saying. So it made sense. It made sense. Double pumpkin cheesecake is one of the Demogorgon variants.
It was
and
so good.
May be
so
Garrett's
good.
favorite street side beer of all time. If I thought I was going to make it down to Demogorgon Day, I would absolutely get some, but I'm probably not. So
Yeah, it was really good.
maybe
I'm definitely not.
Yeah. Well, yeah. A lot of those beers, they'll kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They will
I
kill
don't.
you.
I didn't ask, but I'm assuming there's a little bit of lactose in the pumpkin cheesecake.
Pumpkin cheesecake,
Yeah.
just a smidge. Just,
I also
just a
would
little
assume.
bit. There was a lot of talk about Demogorgon Day. There are 11 variants that they're going to have.
12,
Yeah,
11, yeah, somewhere in there.
A lot. Some in bottles,
More than
some
3.
just on tap. A lot more than 3. Yes, that is a fair statement. And that's where the conversation came in. Do small cans take away the specialness of a beer? Is it easier to perceive those beers as everyday beers if it's in a smaller form, therefore easier to drink than just opening up a 16-ounce can of a 15% beer?
And I'll tack on to that.
Yeah.
Does it matter?
I think it absolutely matters in the sense of if you want people to taste and enjoy your beer, then why not have it in a package that makes it a little more convenient for them?
I think that's where my brain goes. Like, there's so many beers that I've bought in 22-ounce bombers that I spent the money on, and the brewery was happy that I bought the beer, and then I let it sit for a year and a half before I tasted it, and it probably wasn't as good as it was when I bought it.
I think that...
Which is the better solution? Right.
I mean, I feel like if you buy that beer because something about it was a special draw to you, even if you buy, 12 8-ounce cans of this, and it is an everyday beer for 12 days, it's probably going to be special each of those 12 days. Like, what is special? Like, what that's going to be different for every single person. But I think that giving the option for having these bigger beers or these really really crazy specialty one-off beers in a smaller format to where you don't feel like, I'm buying this bomber, I really want to drink it, but there's no way I can do this more. I could drink it all myself, but I'm going to wait for that perfect moment to share with someone, and then you end up not, or it doesn't taste the way that the brewery wanted it to taste.
The goal should be to get the most amount of people to drink the most amount of beer at the point where the beer tastes the best. And for some beers, that might mean getting people to buy something and to stash it away for 5 years or 10 years or whatever it is. Yeah. Maybe. If
it might be a bomber.
If that's what you think is the best way to drink that beer, that might be it. But in a lot of cases, you want people to drink it right now. Yeah. How do you get people to drink that beer right now?
Yeah.
The most amount of people to do that.
And for me, it's putting it into a smaller form.
Me too.
Packaging, because then I'm more likely to just open it on my own at home instead of I'm going to hold on to this until I'm somewhere that I can bring it and share it with a bunch of people. Because, yes, I can drink a bomber of a 15%.
Yeah. I mean, there's
super imperial stout, but good God, I
couldn't agree more with that, and I think I said it right at the beginning of that of the topic. Let's put it in a smaller format. Let any day be a special day for whatever reason you deem, but to have to put away a full bomber or something just lends itself to, aging and just not being drank.
The state of the industry, less beer consumption, less everything consumption. Everything is too damn expensive. How do you draw new people into your space? It wasn't a mental breakdown situation for Garrett, like he may have had on another podcast. Right. But I mean, it's definitely something that the state of craft beer today is not what it was 5-7 years ago.
No.
Is it in some ways I feel like it might be a little bit better, but in other ways it's different, and I don't know.
It depends which side you're coming from. I think for the consumer, things are better than they've ever been. Mm-hmm. Craft beer could not be better. The quality is through the roof. The amount of breweries, the variety that's out there.
Sure.
Any style that you want, you can find.
Almost, right.
That's incredible.
Sure.
So from a consumer, it's great. From the brewery's perspective, I think a lot of them weren't expecting what happened.
Yeah.
As far as the number of breweries and the competition and the other beverages kind of coming in and poking at what they're doing.
Yeah. Kind of, sort of in that same thread, Rivertown is still, even after kind of all these years, sort of the nucleus of Cincinnati craft beer. I mean, it's still something that everyone still draws from and still remembers, and is still a lot of inspiration. And I feel like it is still a very strong thread that keeps a lot of the Cincinnati craft beer scene, innovative.
I think it always will be.
Oh, yeah, yes. Them, Blank Slate, all of that.
Well, Blank Slate.
More so Riverton just because of, I think, size-ish, if that makes sense.
The amount of people that came through Rivertown on the employee side of things.
Yes.
That kind of then filtered into other places.
Yeah.
Blank Slate was very important to the beer drinkers, but there was only a couple employees.
Yeah.
It never had that kind of that spread as far as other people. Mount Carmel has had plenty of people that have come through there that have gone on to other places. Listerman obviously has had plenty of people that have had some kind of touching to that company that'll continue to kind of spread throughout craft beer in Cincinnati. But as far as places that are gone, you can't come close to what Rivertown kind of put their thumbprint on
Yep, absolutely. And then last note I had, Demogorgon Day is the day after this episode comes out, except for Patreon, then it's 2 days after the episode comes out.
Yep.
Show up, buy your beer, enjoy the beer. I mean, buy and drink the bottles.
Drink it.
Drink it. Just
Drink
get
it.
it, drink it. Try to know if you can drink it yourself or if you want to share it, and make sure you have a plan for that to get together with people before.
Set yourself up in like a recliner where you don't have to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Put a bucket next to you so you can pee, and don't go anywhere. Don't move. Just drink them all. Like, just sit there and drink them all.
All right.
Sip count for this episode. This was an hour and 18 minutes long.
Ooh, all right.
It's a long episode.
There were 12 sips that I was able to pick up.
I mean,
they were big beer. I mean, it's not something that you're just going to be, sipping on.
We also
over and over
only
and over
had
again.
2 beers, and one of them was like a little squirt.
Yeah. It wasn't even like a full.
It was also
like a 5 ounce
in the morning.
Yes. Although Garrett did take a couple sips of LaCroix, so he was still properly doing that. So according to our game, that's 24 ounces, just a little under 2 pints of beer. So
we normally don't
works.
drink as much on the street side episodes because we record at midnight.
Well, and
leading into the day.
Well, and I feel like most of the beers that you tend to drink on the street side episodes are
They're big
beers. They are
Yeah,
big,
but like, hey man, let's get the show set up. Oh, that's fine. Are you free at 4 a.m.? Yes, that'll work. That's fine.
I mean, that's technically before the kids have to go to school, or before the wife. So I mean, I guess
work.
technically,
That's fine.
that will not interfere with my schedule.
You can,
at all.
if you watch the video, you can see the tap room opening behind us at one point.
Well, I like the one point where one of the bartenders, I think they either drug like a chair or a table, and like you both just kind of like
dead body.
like, what the hell's that? You kind of see like the sunlight moving behind you, behind the windows as everything.
The sun rising is what that was. The sun rising over the.
Somebody was having waffles and sausage.
Oh my gosh. That's what we need more of. Breweries to open at like
Waffles.
9 a.m. and to serve waffles and sausages.
Yeah.
There was a
Tubular meat.
There was a fun point in time where there were a lot of breweries doing coffee and
Yeah.
opening early with coffee.
Yeah.
Miss that.
I mean, there are some places around here that are doing that.
I don't know any.
Well, I mean, would you
I don't know any
consider-
places that have coffee early and then beer once lunchtime hits. Don't know any.
High Grain, Brentwood. With Revel in the, or not Revel's the winery.
It was
La Terza?
it was a joke because of where we're sitting recording the episode.
Well, I said brewery.
Just making a joke.
I'm sorry. I ruined
Nobody
it all.
understands me.
I'm sorry. So, moving on.
All right.
I hung my head in shame. We got
We
the awkward pause
let
for
it
that.
sit.
We let it sit.
It was good. It was good.
Last show that we have to talk about tonight, the Weekly Pint.
TWP.
Yep. I'm not
You know
saying
me.
this, there exactly. It
There
doesn't
you
work
go.
when I say it because I'm like it's not mine. It doesn't really work. You started with a non-alcoholic Black Butte from Deschutes.
So good.
And
it was good.
is it the best NA beer that you've had?
I don't know.
Not sure. Okay.
I don't know. This is ridiculous, but the Budweiser still might be the best.
Really? Not even like the Untitled Art stuff?
I need to
I've
try
had
them all.
that by volume over the past 2 weeks.
I need to try them all.
Untitled Art?
It's 0-0.
Oh, the Bud. Okay.
The Budweiser 0-0.
Yeah, it's
It's
a good beer,
it's good.
All right.
and it's actually 0%. Like a
Instead of
lot
like-
of them are kind of,
Just
0.5.
less than
Low.
0.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
which for me, when I drink 75 of them, it still adds up.
Well, yes. Especially in quick
Then you're
succession.
bloated and drunk.
Yeah, that always sucks. You also had whiskey.
75.
You did not have them together, but I wonder how the whiskey and the Black Butte would have been cuvées.
I mean,
Maybe.
Probably would have
might-
ruined the
it might-
Black Butte.
Probably would have. Yeah. I don't know if that's a style that would have lent itself well to having whiskey added. But
Whiskey.
You gotta say it with the whis. Gotta add the whiskers to it.
blended whiskey.
Whiskey. You got to go to Buffalo Trace for a barrel pick,
Did.
which is fantastic. I've only been down to Buffalo Trace, well, no, twice. Once for a tour, once for the 5K they do for the 4th of July.
It's only my second time
love
down
it
there,
down
too.
there.
It was
beautiful.
Never
down
been.
there.
It was kind of like
It's worth going to.
mind-blowing. So the last time I was there was probably, time doesn't make sense,
It was pre-COVID for me.
Definitely
both
pre-COVID.
times, yeah.
It was probably 20 years ago, honestly.
Oh, wow.
No, 10, 15, maybe. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Time doesn't make sense.
So when will the barrel that you...
I don't know.
Not sure. Okay.
I have no idea. I don't know how that works.
Okay.
I didn't ask for details.
All right. You just showed up and just kind of, hey, whatever happens.
I will have a blog post out hopefully this week. Hopefully.
All right. Any video?
With my thoughts about the pick.
Okay.
And then I think I'm going to sit on the video content until the bottle is released.
Okay.
And I'll do a video with all of
like
that.
the whole process.
Yeah,
okay, that's
so.
cool.
I think that's
cool.
what I'm going to do. I'm not going to call the experience life-changing, but it might have been life-changing. Like all of
That's
it put
cool.
together, the conversations, the experience, everything. It was something special.
And you got to have a tour with like the most sought after tour guide
Yeah,
at
Freddie
Buffalo
Johnson.
Trace, Freddie Johnson.
Yeah.
He was a third generation employee at the distillery. Was it him or his dad that got a job at or it was him because he got a job at the distillery after he retired because his dad or his grandpa said, "Man, we need to try to have multiple generations work here." And it gets more. Yeah.
It gets so
that's
much
not
deeper
even,
than that.
Oh, sure, right. Like that's just barely scratching the surface.
At the very end of our tour, he's getting ready to tell us goodbye, and he's friends with Molly, which is I think how we got him as our tour guide.
Gotcha.
And he's like, I got to tell you guys a really quick story. He's like, this is why you always keep your promises. He's like, my dad was getting older, and as he was getting older, he made me promise him that when I couldn't take care of myself, that you would come be my caretaker. And he called me, and he was working in New York at the time, doing some really crazy stuff that is a whole different discussion within itself that he's never really talked about, but he just gave up his security clearance last year so he can start kind of talking a little bit about some of what he was doing. But he moved back to take care of his dad because he promised that he would take care of him when he was old. And him and his dad were walking around the property, and somebody came up to them and said, "Hey, man, are you watching TV?" And he's like, "No, we're going to take a walk." And he's like, "You need to turn on TV." And they walked over, and it was 9/11.
Oh, no.
His job, he would have been in the Twin Towers at that moment that the planes hit the Twin Towers. So him keeping this promise to his dad that he would take care of his dad, even though his dad,
oh my God,
his dad lived way longer than he was supposed to. So he kept this promise for way longer than he thought he was going to keep this promise.
Wow.
And it literally saved his life
yeah.
and built this whole second life for him now working at the distillery. Like it's crazy
amazing.
stuff.
That
so when I
amazing.
say that this trip might have changed my life, like I really it's not bullshit. Like it made me really think about some things differently.
When you also met one of the master distillers.
Harlan Wheatley.
Yeah, I mean
the guy, Wheatley vodka, like
dude,
the guy.
That is so amazing. Like I am so beyond excited and thrilled that you got that experience. I can't wait for the blog posts. I can't wait for the videos.
I tag along is the joke of it all.
But you got to experience. You know what I mean? Like even if all you did was you were at the back of the pack for the tour and you just listened, you still had that experience, and that's phenomenal.
Pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
It was
that's
nuts.
Absolutely awesome. You got the Traveler Whiskey, which was a collaboration with Chris Stapleton, and it
sucks. I mean, we can say it sucks. Like it's not a good whiskey. It's not. It doesn't like. It's not bad. Like it doesn't like make you want to vomit, but like it's not good. Like it.
Well, you were saying that a lot of some of the flavors you were getting just kind of stopped. Like
it was just weird. Like it's just not good. I cannot believe that anybody is drinking that and they have this opportunity to create their perfect whiskey and like this is it. This is perfect.
It was a shorter episode, so you pretty much just closed out from there by saying more videos and blogs are coming. Keep an eye on your website, your YouTube channels, all your social media in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
I was crawling on my belly this morning making videos for you guys.
You posted, was it just on Instagram or was it on whatever?
I think I posted
holy cow.
Facebook too,
as well. Okay. Looks amazing. The Bruckman Project is coming. And sip count for this episode between the Black Butte and the whiskey, the terrible, terrible whiskey. 7 sips total.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I think 2 of those were the whiskey, and the rest were the Black Butte. That is 14 ounces, just shy of a pint
Yep.
for this
Okay.
episode of the Weekly Pint,
Yeah,
which is
shorter.
only 36 minutes
Yeah.
long. so-
Well, that's not that short, but that's fine.
but it's
okay.
Were there any other thoughts, comments, concerns, complaints, issues that any of you guys had with any of the content we talked about before we wrap this up and go walk around the park?
Yeah.
How do camels do in the winter? Like, are they okay?
Yeah,
or
they're
do you
fine.
have to like have
Just
a
bundle them up.
heat?
Just
Can they wear like a
heating
coat
blankets.
and they'll be
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Good. Just
yeah,
checking.
they put just like
Yeah.
heated, like a lot of
Just
wool
checking.
blankets over them.
Like a little heated jacket. Right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Those little battery
absolutely.
things. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, they got batteries. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Double D.
Camels have batteries.
Like a Ryobi coat.
Okay. I think that exists.
Hey, whatever works. If you like what we did tonight, do the things you probably should be doing anyway, like, review, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. I'll keep this short, sweet, to the point. Go to truthbeerpod.com. That's where you'll find links to absolutely everything, including our other podcasts, Cincy Beer Events, to where you'll
There's
find out
links
all
to
the-
everything?
Links to everything. all the
Recipes
things.
for stuffed peppers.
That's cool.
Links to
Yeah.
how to buy Dick's potato chips.
Yep.
How to groom your camel.
How to
Yep.
groom your camel and keep them warm in the winter.
That's right.
It also has a link to our
Just got to put links to all those things.
I
now.
do. Jesus.
In the show notes,
gonna-
guys.
show
Go to the
notes.
show notes. Links to
I'm-
all those things.
I'm going to put a whole bunch of just random links. It's going to be amazing. Tell us what your favorite link is that I'm going to add to the show notes this week. And I don't know, you'll maybe get something, maybe not. Who knows?
Okay.
I have
Send
no
you a
idea.
gish pack.
A gish pack?
That's the
yeah,
little
that's
4-pack
little.
bag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Promises. I don't believe you. We have a newsletter for Cincy Beer Events so that you can get the list of events that we mention on the podcast to your inbox each and every week with direct links to how to sign up to them. So hopefully that's helpful. And link to subscribing to our Patreon, which gets you every episode a day early and completely uncut. We cut out the silences when we take a break to get more beer. Other than that, all of the awkward sexist jokes that we sometimes make, yeah, you get them. Gnome. No, but you get it all because we have a lot of fun doing this, and we want someone to hear all of the chaos and all the fun that we
Yes.
have week in and week out, and that is how you can do that.
If you can't hear the chaos, does it ever really exist?
Exactly. With that being said, no, Marco, what do you think you guys are going to be doing next Tuesday?
Yeah, I plan on being here doing this.
Sounds good.
Taking care of my
Cheers.
camels.
Cheers.
You gotta take care of them. They gotta take care of themselves.
Yeah, probably. You never know.